was never really good playing role of the puppet. Too busy being me, to be concerned with perception of the public. Everyone is buzzing, but everybody ain't thinking about a budget. I want ownership in something. Niggas get their
stories. And that's why it's so interesting, because we're talking about a world that doesn't know about Hollywood. So if you have someone that can talk convincingly, and that's a great speaker, they have the ability to convince you what they want you to believe. And there is no such thing as an industry play.
No,
That ain't happen.
right.
You have to actually put hard work into this business, and you have to be very, very lucky, like hitting the lottery.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of great stand-up comedians, but no one's ever getting the opportunity. When I do panels of people who want to get into Hollywood, and they say, TK, how can I make it? I truly convince people to go the other direction.
Me too.
Because you don't want to be in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Especially for African Americans. And let me tell the fans why. If I tell everybody around the world right now to do a research paper on Black actors and Black actresses in Hollywood, you will come back with a horrific story of disappointment and depression. It's just the way the world is. We are basically swimming against the current in this business. So when one makes it, instead of the other person congratulating them, we live in a world now, because we have social media, we attack a person that's on top. And the goal is, if someone is doing better than you, you salute them, you praise them, because when Michael Williams started comedy, Robert Harris, in 1985, we wasn't even in the improvs at that time. That's why we had to create our own comedy clubs. And to see the comedians go from $20 a show, $20, Anna.
Yes.
I'm gonna repeat this: $20 we was getting in 1985 to what people are doing now.
Oh yeah, I just had Neil Hughley on here.
Yes.
And he was talking about how he used to have beef with Eddie Griffin.
Yeah.
But the two of them are really close friends now. And he said that out of the blue, Eddie just threw him a gig for $100,000.
You know, me and Eddie Griffin had a huge fight. Merry Christmas, happy birthday, I called him.
True, that's true.
Yeah.
And people really have to stop being persuaded and believe in everything that they hear.
No, shut up. What are you guys? And try to you know, Mr. Bird, he was a screen, this spice out the same good, no smile. And come out, I win 3,000 bucks money. I am the same thing as all.
You basically must be getting your money. It's a terrible real. What is on in that? You tell me some money from the out. Super all mistakes.
News at work, Christine G.
All right, man. That was T.K. Kirkland, man. And that was your boy, Dave Chappelle, man, speaking on Katt Williams and what's really going on is still the internet, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to go as far as social media, in the metaverse. Katt Williams' name is still ringing almost 3 weeks after his epic interview with Shannon Sharpe, man. And I gotta tell you, I've never expected this much outpouring of commentary from comedians, podcasters, you name it, of people who have had run-ins or numerous back and forth with Katt Williams, people who watch Katt Williams rise, watch Kevin Hart rise, and yeah, man, so people are reacting to some of the things that he was saying, and TK basically speaks on Kevin Hart being an industry plant, and me personally, when it comes to industry plants and stuff like that, I haven't heard that narrative my whole life. I've heard it in the last few years, and things like that. Do I believe in a such thing? That's up for debate, because I can say that when if somebody comes along and put the right amount of money behind you, and they put you in places where you need to be, and you don't have to work as hard, I can see where people say, oh, that's an industry plant. Maybe it's just a person who got lucky with the amount of financial backing And even with Dave Chappelle was like, man, you know, man, he had to do that when I was dropping my special. I mean, and Dave Chappelle was just speaking in jest. He was just being funny on stage. But I will say that when you're dealing with somebody like Katt Williams, who we don't hear from as much as we used to, and whenever he speaks and he speaks out and says anything, it's gonna go viral at this point. But I will say that, you know, D-Ray and Chappelle, I see both sides of that argument, but you know, it is what it is. To me, Katt Williams is a funnier comedian than Kevin Hart in certain ways, but that doesn't mean that Kevin Hart isn't funny at all. I find Kevin Hart very funny. I just like those gentlemen for two different reasons. I don't even think it should be a competition. Kevin Hart sees certain opportunities that Katt Williams decided to let fall by the wayside and decided that he didn't want to do. And like Katt Williams said himself, and I wish somebody would have challenged this, if somebody says, hey, he's taking all the roles I turned down, then you basically gave up what you could have had. And sometimes for your morals and your integrity, you will kind of say, F the bag, I'm just gonna go and do something else. I'll let somebody else have it. But you then can't complain when somebody else comes along and has an issue. You have an issue with their success. That's not how this works. And I really don't believe that I really don't believe that everybody is an industry plant. I don't believe that everybody's quote unquote getting ran through in an industry just for an opportunity. I don't believe that every black person or every black comedian or every black entertainer is going through to these secret Hollywood parties to get an opportunity. I don't think everybody's doing it, but I do think in some cases there are what they call casting couch, and people do what they do. But with all that being said, man, I just wish their little beef died, whatever they got going. And we just get back to, the programming, and everybody do what they do, man. It don't have to be all this back and forth, man. You can like both. I haven't chosen a side yet, but I can admit when people are wrong. And do I think that Kevin was kind of foul when he did the thing when he told Breakfast Club that Katt was on drugs? I think that was very, very, whether it was true or not, I believe that might have went too far, but I get what he was doing. He was trying to protect his image, and people attached to him image, but a secret is a secret for a reason. If the Hollywood studio, there's only one way that will come out. The studios told Kevin something like that, some ish like that. Hey man, your boy over there on drugs, man. Listen, we need you to take this role. Like, the studio pushed that narrative. Difficult to work with, he on drugs, erratic, frantic, abnormal behavior. Those are key terms to let you know, hey, somebody on that shit stuff. So basically, in my mind, I feel like the studios and whoever actually had a problem with Katt pushed that narrative, and people probably heard it so long, the pulling out the guns with the phase on incident and all of that, run around shit, stealing cameras, going back and forth to jail for the weed, fighting a little 13-year-old and getting slammed on his neck. I just think that all of that, played into the narrative of, hey, that motherfucker over there, he on them shit, he on that shit. And when you do that, when you have that many mistakes, so you make those many missteps, and you have that much controversy coming your way, people start to look for reasons to define your behavior. So the first thing you can think of is, hey, that man's on drugs. So if the studios pushed that, some other people push that, agents push that, then you start to hear it, and it's like, hey, you looking for excuses, but this is why that happened, is your fault. Now, granted, he probably wasn't wrong when he said, "Hey, Katt, this is your fault. Your career not going the way you want it." But the on drugs part, that's the part I did have a problem with Katt. And I do not believe that this man should be mad at this man for seizing the opportunities that you let fall in his lap. So I think that there needs to be a Kevin and Katt conversation behind the scenes with a third-party mediator to be there, not a whole bunch of goons and all that, a whole my security, your security, all that. No, a mediator that both of those gentlemen mutually respect, and they sit down and have a conversation, however long that conversation is. And even if that third party got to be the referee and they got to run the fades, I don't think that they should be going at it. But you know, the comedic world is just like hip hop, man. And they basically, cause it's a competitive sport, especially with our people, because we fighting over the crumbs that the rest of the world left us. So with that being said, it's Jim CBI.